Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. If the SEC is successful in its action against Ripple, what will happen? How long will it take for this matter to be resolved, exactly? Well, I've gotten some insight into the next stage from Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's chief legal officer. And honestly, look, and I've stated this before and I still think it's the case, just because Ripple loses technically doesn't imply there will be catastrophic content in that judgment for holders of XRP. It's possible that this is the case now. I suppose so. It might be very bad for us, but if Ripple loses, XRP holders still be able to move forward if Judge Torres provides some form of clarification for secondary markets. Yes, that is possible. Of course, the situation is more nuanced than that. After all, will such clarity be enough even if it exists? If it does exist, would cryptocurrency exchanges be persuaded to relist XRP because of it? And even if you don't, you still have that icy effect. And how does one go about filing an appeal? This is all of it, then? Now, I'll tell you what Stuart has previously said on the subject. As for when this litigation is finally going to be resolved, I have input from 3 local attorneys, including the attorney who filed the claim and Attorney Deaton. And then there's this headline, also from the crypto space but no less intriguing, about how the SEC's decision to require companies to register with them cost them $2 billion in legal fees. So, I'll just let you know right off the bat that there is a company that has passed muster, to use air quotes, with the SEC. It's fascinating because this company isn't even based in the United States, they spent $2 million, and they don't use cryptocurrency. But I do want to clarify something before we go any further. I have no training or experience in the financial or legal sectors. Don't buy or sell anything based on what I say or write here. I'm not a licensed professional in any field. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts videos to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. Well, good enough. The first article addresses the question, what does Ripple do if the SEC truly wins? It is authored by Alderoty and is headed Alderoty outlines Ripple plans if court awards summary judgment in SEC favor. So, I'll end with this. Let me tell you what he said in response. And obviously, I mean, it's harsh, aggressively phrased like you'd expect because they haven't lost, but should Ripple lose, it could have serious repercussions. How Judge Torres phrases the decision is crucial to me because the next step is the settlement, which is what will be used if Ripple is found to be at fault in the case. So, if you get to the remedies part of this, depending on how harshly it's worded by Judge Torres, it could be that, hey, looks like it's probably just going to be fine, but there's a path forward for XRP. There could be some sort of agreement between Ripple and the SEC where even Ripple is like, okay, we can live with that. That costs you a fine. And you people are still an asset bunch of jerks, but maybe we can accept that since XRP has a future. And if there's a road forward where XRP gets to survive, and that might be enough, and then Ripple might agree, okay, well, as long as there's that path forward, we're not going to appeal this. Notwithstanding Stuart Alderoty's forceful language, which I admire, that is still a possibility. I get the impression that this is the right strategy for where they are at the moment. Don't blame him one bit for the way he's talking, though, he's only trying to get his point across. Basically, we're going to push this to its logical conclusion. Now then, Peter, please read on. The corporation has disclosed its plans to the SEC, and the SEC has been awarded summary judgment. Alderoty, Stuart, if Judge Analisa Torres rules in favor of the SEC in summary judgment, Ripple's General Counsel has said the blockchain startup will promptly appeal the decision. This was revealed recently by Alderoty during an interview with Blockworks. Ripple's outspoken General Counsel has stated that there are 3 potential outcomes to the Ripple vs. SEC litigation. Summary judgment in favor of Ripple could be issued by Judge Torres. Second, he said the judge could decide there were questions of fact that needed to be settled in court. That's a twist that I don't believe many people are counting on. In light of what Attorney Deaton has said, though, it's not completely out of the question that we'll end up in front of a jury. I can't say how likely it is, but it's not impossible. After all, it's still possible for it to occur. The truce holds. Alderoty further mentioned that if this occurs, Judge Torres may rule in favor of the SEC with a summary judgment. The General Counsel for Ripple stated that the Silicon Valley tech firm would not accept a win by the SEC without filing an appeal with the US Courts of Appeals. So, let us halt once more to take attention. At this point, I don't think it's unreasonable for him to make such a statement. Nevertheless, if a foundation for XRP Future can be established, a roadmap can be drawn, and Ripple will be good with paying its way. It wouldn't shock me if they did. The truth is that, as the owner of the passage, I'd be thrilled if they used it. To my knowledge, they're the ones responsible for making the restitution. Like every other stockholder out there, I've lost money due to the SEC, and all I want is for this entire thing to be over with. Therefore, if there is a real future for XRP, I think XRP holders would have an interest that is in sync with Ripple's on that front. But beyond that, in terms of individual transactions, if Judge Torres comes back and says, well, for 2013 through 2018 or whatever the time period may be, looks like these were unregistered securities transactions. Okay. No good for Ripple. We disagree on many things, but agree that a forward-looking foundation for XRP is essential. And that's not something I see Ripple walking away from easily. Also, I can't say that I'm surprised by all the discussion about appeals and the possibility of involving the Supreme Court and so on and so forth. It would be okay if it went all the way to the Supreme Court. As an example, I feel this is detrimental to the Southeastern Conference. Nonetheless, they can choose the simpler way out. Yes, and I certainly hope so. In any case, the truce holds. In addition, Ripple plans to push the matter all the way to the US Supreme Court. Alderoty has warned that things could become ugly for the blockchain firm if the Court of Appeals does not rule in its favor. Encouraged by his assurance that Ripple would prevail at the Supreme Court, the XRP community rallied behind him. To quote Alderoty, ultimately, the Supreme Court will side with Ripple because of the protections it provides against the establishment of an administrative state. Not so much because of crypto concerns, but because of the guarding against developing an administrative state. I would be extremely convinced that this is a victory in the Supreme Court. Quote. However, I do believe he is correct in his assessment. And so does Attorney Deaton. It's just that the current Supreme Court seems unwilling to tolerate governmental overreach. If you work for the government and you're doing anything illegal. We've seen the composition of this Supreme Court, so go at it. Given how obviously the SEC is grossly overreaching, it would not end well for them if it went to that level. That's why I have such a positive outlook in the long run, by the way. Just wondering if we really need to put ourselves through that. Is that something that we do? If that were to happen, the resolution of this matter would be years away at this point. I'd rather just accept whatever comes my way as long as there's a future for XRP. I have a similar impression. And then there was this in terms of, the resolution of this case. Attorney File and an XRP community member made this claim in November of last year. His forecast that District Judge Torres would rule on both the expert and summary judgment motions simultaneously on or before March 31, 2023, remained unchanged. There's no telling at this point if this will actually occur, but I certainly hope so. Honestly, I can't wait for this to be over. After nearly 2 years of this crap, it's amazing to think that any day you could wake up and this would be bam, the headlines right there. Well, time will tell. I don't, and I've been wondering a little bit, since there's so much guesswork about the potential effects on the XRP price. The length of time such a judgment would take does make me curious, though. How long until XRP reacts negatively or positively when the word breaks that the ruling has been made? You're going to need some time to absorb everything that's said here. As the conclusion is where everything is summed up, you could read it, but you might need lawyers to publicly, kind of translate what is stated in there, since a lot of the legalese here isn't immediately understandable. To that end, I find myself wondering if market participants will even know what to do once we reach that conclusion. Hopefully. Perhaps it's crystal apparent and evident as day that you're going to win this thing easily. How much time must pass, though, before more and more individuals begin to place bets on the day this occurs because they finally decided to check into it? I have no idea. This has simply piqued my interest. Then there was also this. Someone named Jeffrey emailed attorney Hogan to confirm that they were still waiting for the 30th to see a triumph for the XRP and slash or the Ripple. Indeed, this happened just yesterday. On March 3 RD, attorney Hogan wrote back, "I have done a wonderful job with the decisions, however I have botched the time. But I've got my heart set on meeting Jim Fallon on March 30. Gummy grin. This is what I'm hoping will happen. To put it bluntly, I want this to end already. That's for sure. It seems to me that in this case I am speaking to the choir. But there's also this, from the viewpoint of attorney Deaton, while he agrees it's feasible, he's less hopeful than attorneys Filing and Hogan. This past December, the Daily Huddle published a story in which they attributed the following to Deaton. Although I doubt it will happen before March 31, the court is well aware that she awarded us AMH status, so anything is possible. She's aware that the case has received 17 amicus briefs and has tens of thousands of holders. Thus, it's not out of the question. But you have millions of pages of paperwork already filed. Unfortunately, she must experience it herself. The earliest date I could see is at the end of March. A decision, I'm afraid, may not come until late April or early May. I don't pretend to know like we're still in the homestretch even if that's the case, and he may very well be right. That knowledge alone still brings a good sense of relief. As though a resolution will be reached this calendar year. A near certainty, really. And the belief that it will happen in the first half of this year is likewise backed by a high degree of certainty. To be continued. What do you think of this, though, from the realm of crypto basics? Costing businesses over $2 million in legal fees because the SEC decided to step in and require registration. Now this is just plain crazy. As I go along, you'll notice that it's a trading platform run by a foreign company that has an SEC registration. In fact, they are not even providing a cryptocurrency option. Thus, this should not be taken as evidence that there is a way forward if you are a cryptocurrency creator. Why not just use a database instead, unless you're making a centralized cryptocurrency? In any case, the text of the peace treaty is as follows. Fox journalist shows that SEC Chair Gary Gensler has repeatedly encouraged cryptocurrency companies to come and register with the SEC, despite the high cost of doing so. Hester Peirce, a member of the SEC, acknowledges that the way forward has remained unclear. Cryptocurrency companies have also complained that the SEC is unresponsive to their questions. Fox business reporter Alina Terrett, though, has done a lot to clarify things. It's not as easy as just filing paperwork with the SEC or filling out online forms. This is not for a company that has developed a decentralized cryptocurrency, and it is not even a company based in the United States. Moreover, the schedule and price were completely unreasonable. This Twitter thread features some seriously out there usage of language. Recently, Terrett stated that she had met with INX, the first cryptocurrency trading platform to be registered with the SEC, to learn more about how it had accomplished this feat. According to Terrett, the Canadian cryptocurrency startup revealed that it has submitted the SEC's F1 form, which is required of foreign entities issuing certain securities. The procedure, which began in 2018, took 953 days, or around 2.5 years, and cost $2 million in legal expenses. Okay, I see. As Gary Gensler suggested, all you have to do is visit our website, fill out a short form, and you're good to go. The main question that people have when talking about registering with the SEC is not why they haven't raised $2 million in 2.5 years and why they aren't launching a cryptocurrency. In the extreme, this is ludicrous. Holy crap. And it appears to be a done deal for present investors. Hey, have a look at this. The journalist also noted that other companies are looking at registering their public offerings under the regulations exemption form. As reported by Terrett, some businesses are registering under regulations that would limit their investors to accredited ones. So, it is not quite obvious. As for the index arrangement, just so much has been made public. No matter the case, though, it's still incredibly foolish. Things shouldn't be this way. If your nation is truly committed to economic growth, then it needs to embrace the sector that has the potential to be, even in a down market, one of the largest growth areas in the world. Technological advancement will continue in this direction. This is not the way to go about things if you are serious about creating a healthy workplace. Absolutely nothing could be further from the truth than this. It's all over today. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.